Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, what game?
How about the game?
What game?
The game.
The game. It's an easy to learn, quick to play co-op game where everyone either wins or loses together.
Today we're going to be showing you some of the tips and tricks for playing our all-time favorite card game. Now don't forget to subscribe and stay to the end so that you can hear our special Giles Minute message.
All right, so we have 100 cards here, and the goal of the game is to work together to get these 100 cards into these 4 piles. If you can't, you lose. Now 2 of the piles go from 1 to 100, and 2 of the piles go from 100 to 1. For a 2-player game, deal out 7 cards to each player, or 6 cards for a 3 to 5-player game. On your turn, play at least 2 cards from your hand into one of these 4 piles.
I have chosen to go first, since I think I have 2 great cards to play. I will play my high card on the pile that is going down, and my other card onto the pile going up. I don't have any other cards I want to play, so I end my turn by drawing 2 cards to get back up to 7 cards.
All right, now it's my turn. I have 2 great low cards that can go on top of the 4, so I will start by playing them. I also have 1 card that I can play on top of the 94. So I will go ahead and play that card as well. I now choose to end my turn, and I draw 3 cards to get back up to 7 cards.
Now it's my turn again. I drew a card higher than the one in the pile going down, so I can't currently play it in that pile. But that brings me to the one exception to that rule, and we call it jumping back. If there is a card exactly 10 away in the opposite direction that the pile normally goes, the card can be played. I have an 88 and a 98. So I am allowed to play the 88 and then the 98 since it is exactly 10 away from the 88. I also could have played the 98 on my turn if Andrew had played the 88 on his turn.
Now play continues until all the cards in the draw pile are gone. Then players can choose to play 1 or more cards on their turn until all the cards are played.
Now, the last rule we want to talk about is hint drop to the top. Yes, it's hint dropping at its finest.
So you cannot say the exact number on a card or anything that gives away that number.
Okay, I think I'm going to play on this one.
Okay, I do have 1 coming up.
Oh, how close?
So mine's within 5, but not within 4.
Okay, you better play.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I have 1 super close right here.
No. Mine's smooching it. I'm next.
But what you can say are things like, hey, don't play in this pile, or I have 1 coming up in this pile. Okay, here's a couple of tips from us as we played the game. The first one is after you've played your 2 cards down, make sure that you talk with your group to make sure that you're not going to be skipping anyone else if you have another one really close.
Also, make sure you're taking advantage of all the jumps that you can. There might be cards that are already played that you can make a jump with, or even a couple cards from your hand that you can make a jump out of. In fact, sometimes you might be able to play 4 or even 5 cards from your hand at once if you just set it up correctly.
In the game, we use hint dropping a lot to communicate because we can't say specifically the number on our card. Now, as we can see, that form of communication isn't always the best. So we all know that communication in any relationship is very important. So how do we improve that?
Well, one of the core areas of communication is speaking up for your wants and needs, and this helps to eliminate any hints or guesswork that might be involved. And 3 areas that we can use to help in speaking up is to 1, start with I, 2, say what you want rather than what you don't want, and 3, being specific. When we look at an example of maybe you're hungry and you want to get something to eat, you might say something like, "Are you hungry?" Now this is very broad and vague, and it hint drops that you want to get something to eat. Well, to make this a little bit more specific and starting with I, with getting your need met would be to say something like, "I'm hungry, I want to get something to eat." Now, it's still not very specific, so if we want to improve upon that even more, we could say something like, I'm hungry. I want to go out to eat an Italian dinner with you tonight at 7 p.m. This makes it specific, starts with I, and it's saying what you do want rather than what you don't want. And when we use those tools, we're able to better speak up to get our needs and our wants met.
Now, as we become better at communicating and you're having those hint dropping withdrawals, just make sure to pull out the game and hint drop away. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we love to hear your thoughts and your comments.